Hello and welcome into yet another episode of the Creative Juices podcast. Episode number 3 is on wherever you're listening, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or you're watching the episode on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure you find me and follow me on my socials, most notably at Keegan Hartman 1 on Twitter, X, or Kigo Amigo on Instagram. That is where I am most active. Also, if you have not done so already, you are on the YouTube channel watching this, make sure you go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button and go watch our last episode where I had the immense pleasure of speaking with a former colleague of mine, the current director of graphic design at the University of Texas, Arlington, Mr. Jeremy Daniels Jr. Previously, Daniels had served as the creative manager over Missouri State basketball during his collegiate career, having graduated from Missouri State back in 2025. It was great content, great perspective, and an even better story from Jeremy. So y'all make sure you go check that out. That is episode number 2. And hell, if you're new to the channel and haven't seen episode number 1, as of this point, this is July... God bless it. July 16th. Yeah, we had recorded an episode with Prince Miller back in May of this year, and I thought that everything was going to be peachy keen, and I had everything ready to go. Turns out I got to re-record that episode, but I know that the last episode that we did that you guys will never see because it's not here, the next one that we record on Monday, by next Friday, you guys will be able to see that at the time of this recording. You guys, I'm sure, will enjoy that episode with Prince Miller. So go check that out if you haven't seen episode 1. So, all that said, speaking of Missouri State, that sets us up perfectly for our next guest joining us here today. This man currently serves as the director of graphic design over the Missouri State Bears athletics department, from baseball to football. You've probably seen this man's work all over Twitter and Instagram. And if you follow me, you know I'm an avid fan of him, but not just a fan, a friend of his, of course. Not only has my next guest flourished off the field playing baseball at Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri, a little bit on his background, a high school graduate of Ozark High School. That's right, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. I was like, God bless it. If I say the wrong high school, he's gonna cuss me out. I'm just kidding. But
No,
no,
it is what it is.
my next guest in 2024, Rhett Hayward, would initially attend Evangel University to pursue a collegiate career in baseball. Hayward would begin his pursuit in design professionally at Evangel, while simultaneously continuing his career on the diamond, having interned with the Ballparks of America of Branson for a span of 2 summers as an intern. Hayward's passion and love for the game would only serve as a prequel to what was to become of an illustrious yet young career thus far with the Missouri State Bears. Last year, in the fall of 2025, Rhett would make the switch over to continue his passion in design, taking his talents to Missouri State, where he would deepen his studies and sharpen his craft with the Missouri State Bears and their baseball program. Not only that, but I've had the immense pleasure myself of working with this guy in my career. Although briefly, Rhett would go on to assume my previous role with the Bears football program, now serving the university as the head man over their graphics department. You guys, make sure you go find him and follow him on all of his socials. I would say you're most active on Instagram at Rhett Hayward. That's RhettHayward, and that's on Instagram. Likewise, make sure you go follow him on Twitter at RhettH_11. The man, the myth, the legend joins us live on the Creative Juices podcast. Sir, happy Thursday. We made it through another work week. How you doing, buddy?
Let's go. Almost. We're almost there.
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, thank God.
Tomorrow's Friday.
How's it going, man?
It's good, man. How are you?
I'm living. I am living.
Let's go.
It's a Thursday night, and I was like, I'm having the podcast. there is a bottle of Buffalo whiskey in my freezer, and I was like, you know what? Cheers to me. I've had a
Might
long.
as well. Might as well. Can't blame you.
All that said, as I chew up ice, hold on one second. Manners. All right. So as we get into the podcast, look, dude, I'm gonna give you your flowers first off because for me, it's been a pleasure to. I want to give context to kind of how our paths crossed.
For
When
sure.
I was well, not interning, freelancing for Missouri State football, I was a one-man operation. Now, granted, there were five other individuals working on the creative side, and most of them spanned in video and photo. So, me being the sole graphic designer, as things progress into a season, obviously, you need a conglomerate of individuals to come in and assist you. And with football, you know this, and in baseball, it accrues. Like there is so many things to be
No
done.
doubt.
And so it takes a team, it takes a village. And we put out a basically a bird call in the fall of 2025 for any interns. And lo and behold, Rhett, you answered the bell and I saw your work and I was like, man, this guy has got all the potential in the world and all the makings to assume my role. And if I just, teach him right and see what he's about, then I think he can really do it. And sure as shit. I mean, you came in and freaking you've dominated since you touched the Photoshop software and you've applied it at
Appreciate
Missouri
you.
State. So I'm humbled and I'm honored to be able to introduce you not only to this platform, but for anybody that hasn't read your story, which we'll get into a little bit later. Just know that this guy, Missouri State fans, if you're watching this, if you're a fan of Missouri State athletics, whether it be baseball, football, what have you, this is the guy right here. And it's just amazing to see your career flourish as it is, and you keep going down the path that you're going, my guy. You're going to be one of the names that's the top of this industry, and I'm not blowing smoke. I genuinely mean that. I think you're going to take over this industry in due time. So, man, I'm grateful for you as a friend, as a colleague, and watching your career, dude. I'm humbled and happy you're here tonight. Happy to talk shop with you.
Dude, absolutely, bro. I appreciate that a lot. That means a lot from you.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir. Well, enough of the patronizing and enough of what the kids call glazing. Let's get right into the business. So I want to start with the icebreaker. We typically start this show with a little bit of I mean, I sometimes I'll start with a story, sometimes I'll start with, hey, what's your background? But people have already kind of got a glimpse of where you sit right now. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Artificial intelligence. Now, I'm going to be honest. This has been a conversation piece in the first episode that we did with Prince, and we had this discussion. We're going to have this discussion on the re-recording.
yeah,
But
no doubt.
one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of people are looking to artificial intelligence or AI as a way to sort of conveniently navigate the landscape of graphic design. I've always been the old guy, get off my lawn type to say, hey, AI doesn't belong in graphic design, nor does it belong in video. And I don't mean like your generative fill, the things in software, not to get nerdy on you, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about jersey swaps, uniform swaps, and everything. Basically, to make a long story short, I want to get your perspective about AI and its impact on the game thus far. And I mean, as far as humans go, like, what's our longevity look like? I mean, you're young in this industry, and that's why I wanted to ask you this question. And I'm young in a sense, but like being able to, kind of you're kind of working in that progression to you know what I'm saying. So like what are
Yeah.
your thoughts and what's your perspective on AI and its relationship with graphic design? And what do you think the future of college creatives or college athletics looks like with AI kind of being serving as almost a catalyst for marketing and social media and what
Yeah.
have you?
I think it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because my biggest tweet that I've ever had was was
Yes,
tagged with AI.
yes,
It was our 2026 football schedule. It had the auto tag on Twitter. And
yeah,
I trust me, like I think AI, especially in Photoshop, is a tool. I mean, generative fill is a tool that you can use within Photoshop. However, is it the most important tool in Photoshop? Absolutely not. Is it an important tool in Photoshop? I don't think so.
Right.
Um, so I think I don't know, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I literally did not even use it in that. But I think where I draw the line when it comes to AI is if you're putting in Chat GPT, hey, make me a graphic. I mean, I just every time I see it, everything looks the same. I absolutely hate it. Plus, like, it's just lifeless, and I think a lot of the times, like, there's just a human touch that AI hasn't replicated yet. I don't know if it ever will because, like, there's just a human touch that you just can't replicate it.
Yeah. No,
So
that's a very good point. And kind of piggybacking off of that, I've had this conversation with so many colleagues of mine, and even when we went to the Skull Sparks conference here about a month ago, I kind of had some conversations with some people that we met there, and my stance was, unless artificial intelligence gets a grasp for how different brands work and basically how to replicate different brands, only then will it be successful. Until then,
yeah,
with its one-dimensional processing and how it does its graphics, it's never going to be able to replicate, good God, words, the humanistic side of how we design. So, like when you look at Missouri State's brand, it's different from West Virginia's, but I feel like it by itself, AI could not have that discernment at this point. Now,
100%.
that being said, with how it's progressed and how it's matured over the course of the last 5 years, who's to say that it couldn't assume the role of a creative now? There's going to be some schmo that comes across this podcast and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to develop a software, an artificial intelligence software, and it's going to be able to discern different brands. And look, if you steal the idea, just pay me some money. But that besides the
Me
point.
too.
Yeah, for real. Throw Red some bread too. Co-founder. But anyways,
Yeah,
no.
co-founder.
I think one of the things that scares me the most is the maturation process because if that tells you anything, I mean, some schools, I'm telling you, there is going to be one school or there's going to be one university that's like, wait, hold up, we can really do something with this. If we continue to feed it the same look, perfect example. So I've started to integrate AI into my workflow. I'm not saying I'm using it to develop graphics, but as a reference point for what I need to enhance for each different sport. And it's very cognitive in that sense because when you look at gymnastics, for example, and wrestling, they're two different sports, but it can tell you the elements of your brand that you can implement into each sport to make it sort of identify with that sport. So, like textures, different fonts. We use like this Delighter script, which is like a fancy cursive font that would coincide with something that's more so on the gymnastics side. Whereas
Yeah.
we have our West Virginia font that we use that would coincide more so with wrestling. So it's very conscientious of that stuff. And I think that kind of scares me. I don't know if you have any perspective on that or like what your thoughts are on maybe using it as a reference point. I don't know if you've had experience have you done it?
No, I honestly I've never even heard of that. Like I mean, like I said, it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's just so I mean, it can do stuff like that. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be making. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't looked into AI for certain graphics. For example,
Yeah.
game week graphics. Like, if we play the same team 3 times a year, I'm going to be like, well, shoot, like I've done this 3 times already.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely a tool, and I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Well, we'll leave it at that. We'll put a pin in it, but let's pivot the conversation to you. So, you attended Ozark High School, and not a lot of people know this, myself included. I didn't know that you played baseball at the collegiate level. I want to you might have told me maybe in passing or maybe in short at one point, but I got dementia. I'm getting old. Uh, so basically, what I want you to do is kind of take our audience sort of behind the scenes of how sports kind of became this medium for you to really, transfer over to baseball. And obviously, I mean, it doesn't go without saying you've really poured your heart out into baseball from what I've seen. And I mean, who better to do it than somebody with experience? So kind of take us behind the curtain with your experience with baseball and how that kind of translated and transferred over to your career in graphic design.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always kind of been like a doom scroller. I hate to admit it, but like
Same.
like even from a young age, I would be scrolling Instagram and being like, "Oh, that's a sick graphic of Yadier Molina," because the Cardinals are my favorite team. Um, but I would see all these things on Instagram and I mean, eventually Twitter, and I'd be like, I wonder how you make stuff like that. And from when I was a kid, I really like I remember telling my parents, be like, I want to design billboards one day, which is funny because I'm doing that right now, which is crazy. But I remember telling my parents that as a kid, and then yeah, the baseball background for sure. I mean, I definitely took an interest to baseball media because I mean I played baseball, so obviously an interest there. And then I, my last year at Evangel, it was like I did not have a good year by any means on the playing field. Um, and like I remember telling myself, I was like, man, I could be not putting in any effort right now, and I could be making graphics, and I would be having way more fun doing it, which is like a little bit embarrassing to say, but I mean that's just how I felt. Um, but yeah, I mean, baseball is probably my favorite sport to do simply because I played it my entire life. I have so many different perspectives and a lot of years and time put into it to where I feel like I can build a brand out of it. So
Yeah.
it, I mean, there are definitely going to be some sports next year to where I'm like,
Damn.
I mean, for example, like tennis. I mean, tennis, I'm going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah. Uh,
So,
I'll let you know real quick. Those tennis rackets are going to be a pain in the butt to cut out. I'm just going to let you know.
yeah, you're so right.
Those are going to.
AI might need to save us there.
Well, just know you can approach me. I got some shortcuts for that for a
Okay.
different conversation. But no, it's interesting that you bring that up, Rhett, because like I always find it fascinating when somebody has an attachment or an emotional attachment to a sport. Better yet, they've played the sport. It's more than likely they're going to understand how to tell the story. Like it's going to flow for them. And like, I don't know if you've like intentionally done it, but like your graphics tell a story in their own right. And what you've been able to do for the baseball branding for Missouri State, where was I going with this? There was a question that I had with this, and now it's gone. What in the heck? Hold on, let me backtrack real quick. I'm not going to time in this because normally I cut this out, but I'm gonna keep it going.
Okay.
No, I have a
Okay.
question. Oh God, bless it. Well, what was I going to do? Let's do this. Let's pivot back. I want to backtrack a little bit. We'll get into baseball in a minute. Let's
Okay.
backtrack a little bit towards your kind of like what interest you talk about doom scrolling. I think we're all victim of that. Anybody that's
Yeah,
in
no doubt.
social and digital media. But you talk about so you attended Ozark High School. Was there sort of like an introduction that you vividly remember in terms of like getting that hands-on experience, whether it be in a class or by a classmate or a friend? What was kind of your first introduction there? And then we'll kind of pivot to baseball, back into baseball.
Ye- Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I always really loved posters. I mean, you can see it back here. I mean, there's posters all around my room of different stuff. But as a kid, I enjoyed posters. I was like, it'd be sick to make posters. So in high school, I took a class called, I think it was called multimedia or
Yeah.
something, but there was a Photoshop unit. And our teacher, lucky enough, his name is Mr. James. Shout out Mr. James.
What up, G?
Um, yeah, he he kind of just gave us free reign to just play around with Photoshop. A lot of other kids, like, I mean, I get it. They just be on their phone, like not really doing what they're supposed to do. And I would just be grinding on Photoshop because it's something that I've always enjoyed and I've always been drawn to. So that class, I mean, I honestly contribute a lot of that creativeness from that class because I kind of got my feet wet a little bit in Photoshop.
Yeah.
And then and I've always had like a knack for like I just feel like I know what looks good. I don't know if you feel that way too,
Oh
but
yeah.
you're like, yeah. So but yeah, and then I started making our game day programs that they'd print out and give to fans. So I started doing that for our men's basketball team in high school, like my junior or sophomore year. So yeah, I started doing that, and then I kind of took a couple years off. Um, like when I got to college, I mean, I was very focused on baseball, obviously. My freshman year, I was actually at State Fair Community College, playing baseball. So at a JUCO, there's not a lot of downtime. There's no limit on hours that you can be practicing. So, I mean, weights at 5 a.m., come back, eat, class from 8 to 12, and then practice from like 1 to 4, go back, eat, and then like sometimes in the fall we would scrimmage after that. And
Please.
it was just an all day thing. Like, so there's no time to, really be creative. So I mean, that was just kind of the name of the game there. And then I transferred to Evangel, and I really like my first semester, I wasn't really doing much graphic design stuff or anything creative. And then I was like, you know what? Photoshop was pretty fun in high school. Having Adobe was pretty fun in high school. So I bought the bullet. It was only back then it was only $20 a month
Yeah.
for students.
Not
So
anymore.
I just yeah, not anymore. It's 35.99 now for students, which is
God,
ri
kill me.
ri ridiculous. But yeah, so I bought the bullet, started, and again I just started playing around with it, and just getting better and better. And I ended up making a few commitment graphics for some of my buddies. I remember I had a buddy, he committed to LSU Shreveport. He didn't end up going there.
Mm,
Made one for him. Then I made my first Division I graphic for another one of my roommates at State Fair,
mhm.
and he went to Charleston Southern to play baseball. But yeah, that was my first really like I took a crack at it, and then I actually started a design account on Instagram called RPH Designs because
Nice.
those are my initials. And
Still
I
active.
would just, it's still active. I haven't posted on it in a really long time. I should probably like start that again, but like
Hey,
I kind of like using my main account. I don't know.
well, to each your own.
Anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
um, so I started that, and like I would just be sitting at home. I'd be like, be kind of fun to make a graphic right now. So I would make I mean, one of the ones that I can remember is Corbin Carroll.
Mhm.
Made a graphic for Corbin Carroll because he had a really big year for the Diamondbacks, and but just little stuff like that. It just like honestly, graphic design has never really been a job for me.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't be. Like your job should not feel like a job. It's always been a hobby. It's always been something that I wouldn't say an escape, but it's always been something fun to do, and I'm very fortunate for it to be my job now, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
No, that's awesome, dude. And you bring up a good point about like graphic design should never be considered a job. My friend always tells me, he always gives me good advice. He's like, at the end of the day, our profession is not that serious. And
Yeah,
he always brings up, his wife is a nurse, and so he's like, worst comes to worst, it could always, I mean, it could be far more worse, I guess, whenever he's
100%.
talking about all the circumstances and all the things that his significant other goes through. It's like, yeah, that's understandable, but you can also like have those moments in this field where like when you're working with clients and you're working with different sports, you can kind of feel that pressure. You can kind of feel like
No
you're in a
doubt.
pressure cooker. And I know you're going to be getting a little bit of a preview of that this upcoming athletics calendar season. Kind of talk about that. Like, you're making the transition from sort of the two sports, really football. This is going to be your full, like first full season with football, if I'm not mistaken, or with a
Yep.
football program. So
Right.
kind of talk about what you've kind of been preparing for in the off season and what you've been doing to kind of keep on track with this new role and this new opportunity that you're going to be taking on with Missouri State Athletics.
Yeah. So as far as football goes, I mean, there was a whole new staff this year, which was a big adjustment. Um, Not that obviously there's anything wrong with them. I mean, they're
Right.
a great staff to work with, but they're just a little bit different in the way that they go through everything compared to the old staff.
Right.
Um, so that was a little bit of an adjustment, and also kind of getting kind of what they want from me about everything. Um, like, I mean, Coach Woods is our current football coach. Coach Beard was the old football coach. Figuring out what he wants from a design perspective versus Coach Beard, and yeah, I mean, it's like it'll be like that for every program. Like I'll be wanting to meet with every single head coach for every sport, just to kind of get like, hey, what do you want out of me? What are you thinking creatively from a creative standpoint? Because I want every team, and I learned a lot of this from the School Sparks conference. Um, like everything should have the same feel, but everything should be like a little bit different in its own way. Because I mean, it's like they're all different sports,
Right.
but they're all Missouri State sports, so it should have a collective brand and a collective look to everything. So that is going to be something I'm going to have to navigate. Um, I guess when the time comes. But yeah,
Well, you kind of set up the last question that I lost to whiskey dementia, and that was the baseball question. So, when you talk about the storytelling aspect, it's not only predicated on the relationships that you establish with the coaches and the players, because I feel like whenever you are in a sport, you build that rapport with the players, and they're like, ah, this guy knows ball. But more
yeah,
so, like being able to make yourself accessible and available. I feel like for you, like, correct me if I'm wrong, baseball was the easiest story for you to tell, but it takes a village, as we've said, like it takes everybody. And I think they entrusted you enough to kind of tell that story. So I guess take me through sort of the roadmap and the timeline of being able to build, because Missouri State baseball by themselves, for anybody that doesn't know, is a very it's a very illustrious program. I don't know if decorated is necessarily the word, but they've been a very competitive baseball program over years past, and I would say it's one of the highlighted sports or athletic programs affiliated to Missouri State. So kind of take me through that relationship, establishing that, and being able to build that story throughout the course of last season.
yeah. So I 2 summers in a row I worked at, like you said, Ballparks of America in Branson,
Yeah.
Branson, Missouri, and one of our photographers there, she went to Missouri State, and she also shot for Missouri State baseball, and I knew that, so I texted her last summer, which is crazy that all of this has happened in one year. It's honestly unreal. But yeah, I texted her last summer. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come to Missouri State. Um, like, do you guys have a graphics person for baseball?" And she was like, "No, let me ask our chief of staff if we can set you up on a phone call." And when I tell you that this chief of staff is the coolest freaking guy ever, his name is Aaron Sawchak. He's the freaking goat. But we had a call together, and he was pretty much like, "Yeah, you got it." Not having seen, not having seen any of my work, not having ever met me or anything, which is insane looking back. But yeah, they've been a huge blessing to me and my wife, and yeah, I mean, it's honestly the reason I got this job, or one of the reasons I got this job. But yeah, I mean, like I said, baseball has always come super easy to me, like envisioning that brand, and especially like being from the area and knowing the tradition of Missouri State baseball. That helped me a ton, because I know the tradition of everything. And I grew up going to games and watching Missouri State baseball and keeping up with, I mean, Drake Baldwin when I was in high school, Spencer Nivens, Drake Berger or Jake Berger. Um, like I remember watching all those guys, and to go to work for a program like that, who I grew up watching, is just super cool. And it came really easy for me because I mean, I've watched them for years, so yeah.
Baseball, so are they still feeding you? Because I know that you guys just got done with the MLB draft and everything. Are
Right.
you still having to go through like some of the postseason awards and accolades and what have you, or are you kind of
No, it's kind of a dead period right now, to be honest.
nice?
I mean, we'll have some stuff in the fall, but yeah, it's pretty much dead right now. It's
Dude,
football season now.
yeah, full bore, man.
And volleyball and whatever,
Yeah,
soccer, men's and women. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
I'll
But
say a prayer. Godspeed, because good Lord, welcome to it. Jesus, please. No,
yeah,
in all seriousness, like I, I think you popped off, twin. Like I really think you did
thank
a
you, bro.
great job with a lot of with a lot of the content that you did. You maximized the moment, and you were able to tell. I think one of the greatest compositions that I saw, which was so minimalistic in a positive way, but like the mascots with the World Series
Yeah,
playoffs and getting to go to the semi regional, if I'm not mistaken, right?
it
Or
was the regional.
regional,
Yeah,
excuse me. Sorry, not a
yep,
baseball guy. But anyways, yeah, no, being able to kind of tell that story and play off of every single moment and capitalize on every single moment, that was impressive. Like you did a hell of a
yeah.
job, kid. And then just
Appreciate you.
yeah, like you did a great job trying to set the brand and the standard. Is it going to differentiate going forward? Obviously, brands change with the season and they try to add in and integrate new things, but like why reinvent the wheel if you've already, got a good thing going
100%.
with the brand right now?
And 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 you started it. Like, I mean, I feel like you obviously set the
Here we go.
blueprint.
Here we
You
go.
did, whether you admit it or not. I mean, you obviously set the blueprint for everything. I mean, starting with football, and then obviously I carried it over to baseball too, with very similar. But
It's your kid
yeah,
now. I got nothing to do with it.
yeah, you started it though. You started
Fair enough. It's all
it.
yours now. No, I love the people at Missouri State. And real quick, for anybody that's listening from Missouri State, I have no regrets whatsoever because without Missouri State, there is no West Virginia. So I'm indebted to not only the people that worked in the football coaching staff, but the people in marketing, the SIDs, everybody that entrusted me with that vision. Um, you're in a good place to be able to do what you want because and I've always had this perspective and hopefully I don't get flack for this, but I almost feel like I don't mean this as a slight towards Power 4 G5 like smaller G5 programs, but I feel like you have more not success, but you have more free reign with a smaller program than you would with a bigger program that is established. So, like your Ohio State, your Oregon's, your Texas, your Alabama, they already have set sort of their precedent and they're making minor tweaks throughout the course of a season with all their athletics. Whereas when you're looking at a smaller school, such as Missouri State, you have so much free reign. Like it is a graphic designer's playground because you can go into a season and be like, this is going to be how we're going to tell the story. And I mean, it is just sky's the limit from there. You can do whatever you want, obviously within the confines of a brand. I know you talked about the fact that there's going to be some brand guidelines kind of going into this season and everything. What's that sort of been like, I guess, that talk with SIDs? Because I know that you've said you've had conversations. There are, let me just warn you now, especially even in where we're at now, like where I work, I'm not going to name names and I'm not going to name departments. But there are some people that don't take too kind to branding identity, and they will kind of not, how do I want to word this without sounding like a piece of crap? They will be, I guess, roadblocks. That everybody has their own
Yeah,
opinions.
big
And
program.
yeah, exactly. So they don't necessarily agree with how things look, but at the end of the day, they kind of just, I mean, they have to kind of agree because we've got all this set up. So, how do you sort of navigate that as a graphic designer and trying to pitch what you want to do with each individual sport? Obviously, you're kind of early in the athletics calendar, but have you already kind of started to think about that?
Yeah, like you said, like the smaller G6s are an absolute playground. We learned that, I mean, I was listening to the UTSA creative staff at Skull Sparks talking about not chasing a logo.
Shout out
So
UTSA.
that, yeah, shout out UTSA, by the way, great creative staff. Matthew Guth is a dog. Um, Anyway, but yeah, that kind of it made me really excited to assume the role that I'm going to be in.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of something that's kind of just started. Like I said, you built the blueprint, but it's kind of something that I can take and make it my own and like it be my brand,
Hmm.
um, which is really cool because it's really like this is the first time that's ever happened in Missouri State athletics history.
Hmm.
Um, so which is a super big blessing. But
So awesome,
um,
dude. That's awesome. That's
yeah,
freaking
dude,
cool, dude. Like,
it's freaking sick.
you
It's
gotta
really
pinch
sick.
yourself. That is cool. I'm sorry. Carry on. That's just cool.
No, it's cool. I mean, like I've told multiple people it's my dream job, which is 100% true. Um, but like, I mean, like I said, like I kind of just, they trust me enough with everything that I've done so far to just kind of give me the reins, which I mean, I'm sure not a lot of places get, which is really cool because I mean, I'm only 22 years old, like, and they're giving
Young
me
buck.
free reins with their brand. Like that makes me, I mean, it makes me feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they trust me enough to know that I'm gonna do a good job. And yeah, so
Yeah. Hey, keep this guy around, dude. Like he's going to keep him around for a minute, and if last season's baseball and the football, the ending stretch of football were anything of a prequel to this season, look out. Because I mean, this is you're gonna be on the monkey bars, you're gonna be on the swings, you're gonna be on it like this is your playground now, and you get to
yeah,
do whatever you want with it. And dude, I just think it's exciting to be able to be in a smaller program and have the opportunity to not just look at, two or three programs and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna build a name here. No, do it across the entire stretch and be like, hey, we're here to
yeah,
stay. And we're not gonna
right.
we're not gonna like we have a not like a not like an obligation, but we have very much a part in a brand's reputation and popularity. Like we're not here to regress, we're here to progress. And we kind of set that narrative and we set that precedent. So it's a lot of responsibility. And yeah, it can be daunting at times, but goodness sakes, can it be so gratifying once you put a school on the map? That's just awesome.
No
That
doubt.
that is such a
Yeah,
it just gives me chills. Like I get goosebumps thinking about it because
yeah,
it's such a tall responsibility, and it's just amazing that you get that opportunity to do that at such a young age. So, with that, I guess kind of pivoting. So I've had this conversation in with Jeremy, and I talked to him about it last week. Um, Kind of take me through sort of some of your inspiration from the outset, looking at other creative staffs or even at the professional scale, whether it be MLB, NFL, NHL. But I was thinking more so from a collegiate standpoint, some of your biggest influences and inspirations, whether it be a whole creative staff or certain designers as a whole, or certain designers rather. What's kind of some of your influence and some of your inspiration, and maybe give us a glimpse about some of your inspiration going into this season? Who's kind of inspiring that brand? Because, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the biggest secret. It's a copycat league. Like everybody,
100%.
we don't do verbatim over here. I mean, we just take inspiration, but there's other schools that we look at and we're like, that'd look good in freaking maroon and black or what have you. So, kind of take me through some of your inspirations and who you're looking up to and who you're watching and trying to replicate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you, especially from your time at Missouri State, because I mean, you are the blueprint.
I
So I
appreciate
mean, obviously, yeah, for sure. And I mean, I would go back and look at graphics and be like, how did Keegan do this? How did Keegan do that? And I mean, that helped me a lot in that. As far as the branding goes, I mean, I love Tennessee's brand. They're probably my favorite brand of anybody.
so
I mean,
fire.
it's kind of hard to beat the Tennessee orange. I'm not gonna lie.
Amen.
But like their Adidas rebrand, I was like, oh my gosh, this is electric,
Yeah.
dude. Like I was like, holy cow. So I mean, definitely taking notes from them. The UTSA philosophy, I absolutely love.
Amen.
Dude, like listen to them talk at School Sparks. I was like, dude, I mean, they've got it figured out. So shout out UTSA creative staff once again. I mean, Pinterest. Pinterest is a big one. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd be lying if I told you that, everything. I mean, there's definitely, I would say maybe 40 to 50% of the time I can just think of something right off the top of my head. But I mean, there's definitely times where I struggle and, I have to think hard. And I mean, if I'm not thinking hard enough, I got to look somewhere else because I mean, there's deadlines.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would definitely say Tennessee, Texas. I love Texas's brand.
Texas is strong.
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Um, those are probably the big three for me. Um, oh, USC is another one. Absolutely love USC.
They're nasty with it,
Yeah,
dude. On all facets.
dude, wicked, absolutely wicked. So,
I was telling Jeremy, it's funny you bring that up because we had talked about our top three creatives, and I was talking about USC. Not to cut you off, but I
no,
told
you're
him
good.
I told him about the story of us going out and playing USC last year, and when I was at Missouri State, and they played that little hype video before the game, and then I told Jeremy last week, and I even believe this. I was like, "Yeah, we're losing by 70." We did. We went on to lose by 70. And well, when you invest millions and millions and millions
No doubt.
of dollars into, yeah, I couldn't even fathom how many donors they have just in donating their creative department, like working with high-end cameras, cinema cameras, and just all this access to CGI and all that crap. Like, it is insane. They are in freaking the backyard of Hollywood. Of course, they would have all those resources, but beyond that, like I think Max Wood was their head of graphic design over football last year. I think he's since went on to Cal Berkeley. But what he did last year with their creative branding, shout out to Max, man. You killed it, dude.
Beautiful.
When I was up in
Absolutely
that press
beautiful.
box, sorry, I was trying to find him. I was like, dude, I need his autograph. If Max, if you ever come across this podcast, send me an autograph in the mail, dude. But no, like it's just it's remarkable how sharp that brand is. You can look to a handful of brands, and some of them you'll be able to. I mean, obviously, if you're a ball knower, you'll know by a logo, but like you could look at a clip and just be like, oh yeah, that's so and so, or you can look at a graphic and be like, that's so and so. Well, USC is one of those, and Tennessee as well.
100%.
Just elite,
Yep.
elite work that they do on both sides. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
I would another school I would say Brett Saylor at Liberty.
Mm.
I've gotten a chance to talk to him a few times. I don't know if you follow him or anything like that,
Oh,
but
I haven't.
he just went to the Buccaneers.
Okay.
So yeah, shout out him. I mean, they're another Conference USA school, so obviously I'm going to take notice to other Conference USA schools, kind of see what they're doing. Hate to say it, but compare my work a little bit to
Oh,
the
I did
other
the same thing.
schools.
I did the same
I
thing.
mean, you got to,
Yeah. You got that
but yeah,
competitive spirit. You're competitive.
yeah,
Yeah. Like
100%.
you're in my conference. I'm gonna beat your ass. Like respectfully. Great work.
Respectfully.
But I'm gonna
Um,
try top it.
looking at our schedule, I mean, Jack State is great too. I don't know if you've seen Jack
Yeah,
State.
say it is sharp.
Super tough, like
Yeah.
very, very good. I Delaware is underrated as well. Really
Slept
like
on.
Delaware.
That's a slept on
Very slept
program.
on.
Very
Super
slept on.
slept on.
La Tech
Um,
too. La Tech is
La Tech is yeah, that's another one. I mean, there's definitely some good designers in Conference USA for sure.
dude, y'all want some freaking design advice? Come to the Conference USA. I mean, like they got it all.
Seriously.
They
Yeah,
freaking dogs.
I wish there were more at Skull Sparks, but yeah, man, Twitter will work for now. So
Yeah, man. It you actually bring up a good point because I feel like a lot of networking nowadays, with especially with these smaller schools, social media, yeah, it's a drug, and a lot of people, it's like don't get addicted to it because that thing will freaking consume you. And us
no
being in the
doubt.
profession that we're in, that's how we network. That's how we get our inspiration. That's how we do all of our stuff. That's our outreach. That is our primary source there. It's our primary source of
Yep.
income, if I can be honest. So, like, when you look
Yeah.
at being able to establish your network, like, I would venture to say, like, correct me if I'm wrong. For me, Twitter has been the biggest medium and the biggest platform. Instagram,
No doubt.
probably
Yeah.
secondary to that. How have you kind of leveraged utilizing those, not only for, maybe your own engagement, because I know you've gotten, I mean, the not AI post went crazy, but
Yeah.
like even establishing your own network within like the confines of Conference USA, and then even beyond that, and with some of the bigger schools.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I use Twitter like LinkedIn, like how you're supposed to use LinkedIn,
Same.
to be honest. Like I'll just be on Skull Sparks and or whatever. I'll just see a random graphic come across and I'll be like, I'm gonna follow that guy because I mean that looks sick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for you,
No, same.
but
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I feel comfortable DMing people if I mean, or people feel comfortable DMing me, I'll happily respond back. Um, yeah. Twitter's great, man. I love Twitter for graphics. I don't like just scrolling Twitter because there's a bunch of VS on there, but Twitter for graphics is great.
Yeah, yeah, it is a great place if you want to flourish in graphic design, video content. Even if you want to consume that content, that is a great medium to do it. For other things, maybe not so much, but
Yeah.
that for that specifically, yes, it is a great place and a great resource. Um, when you talk about the sort of the branding going into this season, and I don't know if you can kind of peel back the curtains, obviously. And I appreciate the kind sentiments of me kind of coming in last year and building that blueprint. And I'm thankful it takes two to tango. I'm thankful that you didn't ruin or and I knew you weren't going to ruin the brand. I knew you were only going to elevate it. But I'm grateful and I'm thankful that you didn't divert from what the brand looked like initially. But when you go into, because brands evolve with time, and you look at some of the different trends going on in social media, I know you can't probably give off too much, but without giving off too much, where do you foresee this brand going? Like, what's the trajectory? What stories are you wanting to tell, kind of with football and even with baseball? I know those are your two most kind of comfortable sports right now. What stories are you looking to tell with those, and have you already kind of started thinking about ideas of what we've done in the past and or what Missouri State's done in the past and integrating that into the seasons going forward?
Yeah, I think a big trend right now, I mean, not even really a trend, it's just a good idea is to embrace tradition at wherever
Hmm.
you're at.
Hmm.
Um,
Love that.
for example, Missouri State baseball has a very rich tradition. I mean, we've had a ton of major leaguers. We've made it to the College World Series in 2003, tons of super regionals, tons of regionals. I think we have just a very rich tradition. I think you could say the same thing about Missouri State men's basketball and women's basketball.
Hmm.
I mean, back in the day, I mean, Missouri State basketball is a little bit more down than it was in years past, but back in the day, averaging 8,000 fans
Mm.
in Springfield, Missouri, like for a
Yeah.
basketball game, which is crazy. But I think embracing that tradition, like I mean, what I want to see is I want to see packed houses everywhere. I want to see Route 66 Stadium packed. I
Mm.
want to see I want to see Great Southern Bank Arena packed. I want to see Plaster Stadium packed because
Mm.
I want to feel like I contributed something to that.
Amen.
So, I mean, embracing that tradition of those programs will maybe bring some of that back, bring some of that magic from back in the day back, especially for men's basketball. That's kind of one of the main things I want to focus on for that brand specifically. Because I mean, I was talking to my dad. He went to Missouri State too, back when it was Southwest Missouri State.
Yeah.
Like we like to hear from Mizzou fans all the time. But
MIT though.
no, 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 none of that. But
MIT.
but yeah, I mean, he was telling me back in the day, you go to JQH or back then it was JQH, and it's absolutely packed out. Like that's there. Like we just have to tap into that. So, but yeah, I think embracing tradition is one of the biggest things that I'm going to try to focus on this year.
I think that was kind of I didn't really know a lot about Missouri State before. I had a lot of friends that attended Missouri State, but when I went and took on that brand as a whole, I was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, there's really not much you can do outside of what they're doing right now. Just make it, tweak it, and make it better. Conform it to
Yep.
what we know as modern day design, modern day, content. I think it was in the slow lane, respectfully. And I love the people that I work there. I'm not dogging anybody previous to me, but I'm just saying it was in the slow lane and it needed just a spark. And once it got that
Yep.
spark, I promised the identity. And sure enough, as soon as it got that spark, we went through the recruitment cycle in January of 2025. That was a 72-hour project, fun fact. That was a pain in the butt. Didn't sleep. But anyways, so you go through that project, and we went from, in the matter of, I think we did a report, and take notes, kid. We did a report in like 8 months. So it went from 12,000 followers in January of 2025, February 2025, and we were by midsummer to late summer, I think we were up by like 17, 18,000. So like we
Wow.
we did
Wow.
such a significant jump in that content, and I was like, all it needed was a little bit of spark. But that doesn't go without saying that. I mean, that took all of us. That was a video thing, that was a graphics thing, that was a photo thing. And the beautiful thing about it was the team that was there, which I know Drew and I think Justin is still there too. Like they bought
Yep.
in. And that's all you need for a brand to be successful is you need your team to
Yep.
buy in, and you need to be able to be on the same page and tell the same story through any medium that is available to you. And that's what I think was beautiful about my time at Missouri State is everybody bought into the tradition. It wasn't just us or individuality. It was about the tradition and telling that story. And dude, I think you hit it on the head. I think that school is the best place to really tell that story because they haven't, I don't think they've diverted from that, and respectful, like respect that. So I think you're in a good place. I think you're in a good stomping ground to kind of build that framework and tell that story. So kudos to you, dude. And
$100%.
you being from a native of Springfield and
It
being
helps a ton.
oh yeah, dude, your knowledge about it, it's impressive.
Yep.
Like, have you ever
Yeah.
thought about that? Like, whoa, like I'm from here and I'm about to tell
Yeah.
the story for everybody. That's crazy, bro.
It makes it cool for sure.
Wow.
It makes it really and easy.
That
If
is
I were to
crazy.
go to, I mean, if I were to go to a G6 in California, I'd have no idea. I mean, I would have some sort of clue because
Mhm.
I'm creative, but I mean, the background that I have about Missouri State definitely helps me tremendously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, keep building it. I got a few more questions for you, but that doesn't go without saying, dude. I'm so grateful for your time, and I'm so grateful that you were
dude,
able to
thank you,
come on
bro.
this podcast and talk shop with me tonight.
I'm
And
pumped.
I'm plugging your socials into this, so anybody that wants to go down in the description below this video, make sure you go give my guy a follow. And if you got a portfolio link, or anything that's kind of established that you want viewers to look over and see, man, I'm all about kind of networking you with other creatives and other people seeing your work and vice versa. So just send those over after this episode, and I'll get those plugged in with this episode. But a few
Cool.
more questions for you. So
Yeah,
we all kind of, as creatives, kind of set this roadmap, and I'll be honest with you, I've kind of lost track of time and being here and doing what I'm doing. But like, I always envision myself like, oh, in 5 years, obviously we don't know our plan and we don't know our roadmap. At the end of the day, God does. The big man knows our roadmap, and I know you believe that as well. But like,
absolutely.
if you can develop yourself for that next stage with Missouri State kind of being that stepping stone, where do you see the trajectory of your career going, or where do you want to take your talents in the future? Like, is this going to continue, like once it builds up and you're able to kind of get to that point? Because at the end of the day, when you look at these positions, man, they're temporary. We're just building it for the next generation. We're really just a cog in it. And as much as I hate to say it, like this industry is a revolving door, but it also you can use it to your advantage because you can find bigger opportunities and better opportunities. But also it is what you make it as well. But for you specifically, when you look at that 3 to 5 year roadmap, what's kind of your and your ambition, your goals, and what you want to do, even at Missouri State, what's kind of what are you wanting to do with your current situation? I know it's a long-winded question, but I just wanted to kind of set that up for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never been too concerned about the future, to be totally
Mm,
honest with you. Like,
mm.
I think the biggest thing is just staying present,
Man.
just taking it one day at a time, taking one task at a time, and I mean, I just see where it takes me. In 5 years, I may not want to touch Photoshop ever again. I may want to be doing something totally different. I mean, who knows? I mean, but as for right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I mean, I can see myself doing it for a long time. As of now, I mean, something could change. Bigger opportunity could come. I mean, it just kind of depends. Something that won't go away is the creative side, though, for sure.
Mhm.
I'll always want to be creative in some sort of capacity, and I mean, whether that just be a hobby or my full-time job. I mean, it's just a part of me, and it's just something that I can't get away from.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing for me is just being present where I'm at. Because tomorrow isn't promised.
Amen.
Um, so
That's very well said. That's very well articulated. I like how you dodged that one. That was good. I set that up too. You're like,
not
ah, not today, bud. But no,
today,
that's
not
in
today.
all seriousness. That was a really good answer to that question. That was very sincere. And I agree with you. I think it is warranted to be present and be where your feet are because tomorrow is, as you said, it's never promised. So not only are you servicing and being a steward on one hand, but also being a teacher on the other hand, because believe it or not, Rhett, you are inspiring people. There are people that look at your work and they're like, man, that Rhett guy, like, I want to be like him. And they may
Which
not
is
come up.
crazy.
I know it's crazy to me. It is crazy whenever I get messages from people and they're like, dude, keep up the good work. Love your content. Love what you're doing. It's great. It's a little bit of a
Yeah,
dopamine, which is kind of a problem, but
no doubt.
in the same
Yep.
breath, it's humbling and it's gratifying to know that my work is reaching somebody and it's inspiring somebody. And with that said, like, what is some advice that you have for a creative that's wanting to get into this industry and kind of, because I mean, hey, a year ago, it was a different story for you, and now you're doing it. All it takes is one opportunity,
Yeah.
one shot, as Eminem once said. And now you're now you're here. Now you're getting to be able to, travel with these teams and everything. So what's that one piece of advice that you would give to a creative today if they're like, "Hey man, I'm trying to get into this industry."
Yeah, I know I just said stay in the present, but I mean, a year ago I was working in a warehouse. I did not want it to be the present, I wanted it to be the future.
Amen,
Um,
brother. Amen.
and I was working in a warehouse. I was like, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen, but like it all worked out, which is it's just crazy to look back on the way that everything happened. But the main thing I would say is just keep chasing it. Just keep working on your craft because I mean, you look at my graphics from when I first started with Missouri State baseball. I'm like, dude, what was I doing? I look at graphics from 2 months ago. I'm like, dude, what was I doing? So I think the main thing is just keep perfecting your craft and just keep chasing the best version of you as a creator and as a person.
Dude, great advice. And you talk about be where your feet are, brother. 2 years ago, I was working in the blue and yellow for Best Buy, and now 2 years later, I'm working
Oh,
in gold for West Virginia. So life comes at you quick. Yeah, life comes at you quick.
seriously,
So
crazy.
it's a blessing though, and man, that's great advice. And so for any creative that wants to, get into this industry, adhere to that advice because that is great advice. And I'll add this, I'll piggyback off of kind of what you said. Like, I know time and time again when I was getting some of those freelance opportunities, I was doubting myself. I think the mental aspect, and honestly, I need to take better care of myself from that aspect. I need to find more hobbies outside of graphic design because sometimes I'll get caught up in just like, oh, this has to be done. I have to do this. And then I always parlay it with, oh, my leisure is podcasting and editing and just doing this continuously because I don't have a life. And so like I constantly find a way to keep myself occupied, but not in a good way. And it's like you need to detach from the devices. I need to adhere to my own advice, but like go for a walk, go to the gym, listen to a podcast, read a book, do whatever. But like If you're a believer, get into the good book. Just anything like that to detach, because at the end of the day, we were talking about this. I don't know if we said it on camera. We did say it on camera. It's not that serious. Like there are jobs out there that are far more significant and far more of meaning. So don't take the baggage that you accrue at work to home and let that translate over. Like we can still carry a smile and we can have the same personality inside and outside of what happens at work shouldn't necessarily affect us when we go home, because at the end of the day, we're
100%.
just pushing pixels, man. That's all we're doing. We're just pushing pixels. So,
Right.
one more for you, and then I think I'll let you go. It's been a fun little hour with you, but
Absolutely.
you're a traveling man now, dude. I think Willie Nelson wrote a song about this. What's your most exciting place you're going to be visiting this year? When you travel with football coming up on the schedule.
Texas A&M, no
Oh
doubt.
yeah, I saw it coming.
Night game. Uh, Night game. Hopefully, it's absolutely packed. I mean, it's the biggest SEC stadium. I mean,
Oh
I'm
my,
super excited for that one.
yeah.
Um,
Shout out
I
to Will.
really,
Shout out to Will in Austin real quick down there with the
which
football
he's
program.
a dog.
Yeah,
They're dogs down there for
yeah.
sure. I'll definitely have to keep up with them a little bit, but yeah, Texas A&M, at least for football. I mean, who knows? We could go to a cool bowl game or something, but or the playoff.
Yeah,
Never know. Never know.
yeah.
But yeah, I took a peek at our baseball schedule as well the other day, and I can't say anything, but let's just say I'm excited about that schedule too.
Oh, you
So
got some fire, huh?
yeah, so very excited about that one. And I don't know how the travel is going to look this year. Like, I mean, last year, I mean, I traveled pretty much every single series for baseball and every road game, which was a blast. Like, shout out Coach Hawkins and Aaron Sawchuk for allowing me to do that last year. But yeah, that was, I mean, some of the most fun I've ever had in my life and some of the coolest opportunities I've gotten to do. But yeah, I don't really know what the travel is going to look like this year with most states. Since I mean, last year I was doing two sports. This year I'm going to be doing 18. So
Jeez.
it's a little bit hard to design on the road. I'm not going to lie.
Mm. You
But
got that
but
right. You got that
yeah,
right.
yeah. Especially with a full baseball season when you're on a bus for 10 hours and yeah, so
Yeah.
um but yeah, traveling is a blessing for sure, and it's like last year was one of the coolest experiences ever to travel with football and get to be at the first ever bowl game, the Xbox Bowl, and getting to travel a full baseball season. It was just a total blast. But
Two things. One, I'm fat as hell, and I freaking love traveling. I love going.
it's
Bro,
fun, man. It's
bro,
so
man,
fun.
the food, the spread that they had. You get off the plane, you get food. You get to the hotel, you get food. You get on the plane, you get food. You get to the locker room, you get food. It was like, man, this is the greatest experience of my life. And the hotels.
Dude,
I mean, getting to travel and just being in the environment, like going out to Los Angeles,
yeah.
crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Like, bro, it was an experience and a half, and I just enjoyed the hell out of it. I know you went to, what was it, Kennesaw, and then you went to Dallas to Frisco. How was the
Yep.
bowl game? How did that go?
Dude, bowl game was awesome. Like the environment was so cool.
Yeah, they never sent me
I
my
mean,
gear, man. I'm just kidding.
Max Franey, where you at?
Yeah, Max, damn
Uh,
it.
dude, it was a blast, bro. Like it was honestly a dream come true. I mean, grow up a fan and get to travel with the team for our first ever bowl game. Like I mean, it was right out of a dream. It was super cool. Wish we could have won the game. We were almost there in the fourth quarter. But yeah, it was a super cool experience. And then Kennesaw for the conference tournament for baseball. We were there. I mean, Kennesaw is a suburb of Atlanta, obviously, and we were there for like 2 weeks. So me and Drew Reeves shared a room.
Shout
We
out,
went
Drew.
to a Braves game. Shout out Drew Reeves. He's a dog. But yeah, we went to a Braves game. We were on TV. I mean, it's baseball is a little bit cooler with travel because, I mean, you get to be around all the players, which is dope, and they're a great group of guys, and the coaches as well. The coaches are awesome. But I mean, you just kind of feel like you're on the team, to be honest, which is really cool because I mean, Coach Hawkins and his staff didn't have to do that for me and Evan Hefner, our videographer, and Drew um but yeah, man, dude, traveling's fun, bro. It's an absolute blast.
Dude. It was probably just those trips like you get to the airport on like a Friday and you're like or like well, I guess we were in Maction last year, so we were traveling on Tuesdays too. So that was crazy. But like
Right.
we went to New Mexico State on and we played a Wednesday night game. It's weird whenever you get back because like I remember we flew back and we were I got home at like maybe 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I had to go to Bucky's and fill up with a freaking breakfast burrito and a coffee straight off the plane and then not get home till like 5, 6 o'clock. But it's an experience and a half. Look, I would not trade it for the world. And maybe one day, God willing, if I ever have the opportunity to get back into the fold of football, I'll openly say it. I miss the game and I freaking love football. And I'm excited and I'm happy for the upcoming season with West Virginia, and I'm excited to learn. And I'm more than content being where I'm at and being able to learn from these guys. But if God ever presents that path again, man, I just like you with baseball, man. I love the game. I love being around the people. I love the camaraderie. There's just something about it. I don't know if I'm crazy in saying that. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
No, you're 100% valid there.
Yeah.
100%.
It's just some of those sports just have a different attachment to you, and
Yeah.
especially if you played it. Now, I did play it up until my freshman year, and then I got, diagnosed with a disability called I suck. So I ended up quitting and pursuing greener pastures. But hey, man,
Hey, me too.
exact it is what
Mine was later. Mine was later on.
at the end of the day, God had a
Is what
good
it is.
plan. It is what it
Exactly.
is. So, well, with
Exactly.
that being said, man, I can't thank you enough. I'm always grateful, and if you haven't already, just go give the dude a follow at Rhett Hayward on Instagram, at Rhett H_11 on Twitter. Dude, thank you so much for your time. I thank
Thank
you
you, man.
for being able to sit down and talk shop. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Hopefully
That was great.
you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, that was sick. I'd do it
Okay.
again.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you. Episode number 3 is in the books. Next week, we come back with episode number, you guessed it, 4. So be looking out for that next episode. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.